I found the exact same thing, even with this show Power Hour, even though we're doing it here in Australia. I've got lots of viewers in America and I'm so grateful for them. But I've had so many people reach out just wanting to help, wanting to be involved, wanting to see you succeed.
That's totally normal.
And, every experience I've had over in America, as you say, the hospitality is next level.
It's amazing.
Just back on the social media and power of social media, because your videos have gone viral and they've impacted so many people. Even though we're both here in Australia now, I used to watch Charlie Kirk's videos all the time. I'd listen to him every day. Especially with doing my show, I would listen to him, get his views on things. I'd get a pretty big sense of where people are at. I admired him so much. And I'm sure you're the exact same as me, just absolutely shattered watching him be killed in the most evil way possible. But I think the silver lining, if there is one, is that he reached so many people because he was telling the truth, and people from all over the globe were listening to him.
Yeah, I mean, I still get a bit emotional, to be honest. Like, to be honest, like I think my wife and I were crying for a few days, and I'm sure you were too. Like, it kind of affected me pretty deeply. And for a guy that I hadn't met, we got some mutual friends. I'm sure you do, and we operate in similar circles and stuff. And so I knew about him and stories privately. He was exactly the same in public. But if I was wrestling with an idea, I would go and see what Charlie says about it. We all have people that we look up to and that we consider their opinion to be valuable. And we had his college campus videos on every morning, like every night. Let's put Charlie on, they really took out the best of us. Like, he was the best of all of us. He was compassionate. He was very articulate, incredibly intelligent, and compassionate. If he felt somebody was not adversarial, but just bringing ideas, he was very gracious, and I don't know if I can name anybody in the movement now that's like that.
I know.
And they all admit it. Megan, Tucker, they all admit it, because it's true. He was really the best of us. And so, and I say us, I just mean even before political, just as a human. I mean, firstly, he was a dad to 2 kids, and the way he was taken out. I mean, I remember seeing it on Twitter. I wish I didn't. And it's like the most horrific thing I've ever seen. And we've all seen the videos pop up online, but that was particularly horrific. And so it did something in culture. It did something powerful in some ways. And in some ways, I consider it as you mentioned, silver lining, I consider it to be a good thing in the sense that it woke a lot of people up.
Yeah.
And it was a shock to the system.
Yeah.
I
completely agree. I mean, I was the same as you. I couldn't stop crying for days, and I hadn't even met him. But I think just following him so closely.
We all felt like we knew him, eh?
100% thought he was a friend, and I totally got what you mean by best of us. I mean, and despite your views on whether you're left or right, the way he showed up as a husband, as a dad, I mean, as a citizen,
totally,
as a patriot,
totally,
he was so incredible. I think he was so inspiring. He inspired me, still does.
Yeah.
No, he's a big loss, and we're really missing his voice. I started noticing though here in Australia, and I know this was happening in the United States as well. People were returning to church; they were feeling called to do that. Did you see that happen?
Yeah,
too?
100%. I think we were feeling it even before then. I mean, we came out of COVID, and we all, we all know what happened there, and we all kind of went, okay. This was a total reorientation, or even some people were disorientated. And I think I was just talking to our pastors last night. We go to a church on the Sunshine Coast, and we were talking about AI and what's coming. And obviously, I'm pretty deep in that world.
Yeah.
And there's parts that are scary that are coming. Mass job loss, all of those things. And I said, this is the time that the church can rise up, because this is when people want human connection, meaning one another more than ever. And I think that was similar to what happened with Charlie. It was when you're faced with sickening evil, you're faced with the very next question is, there has to be good then, because it can't just be the presence of evil. And so when you see such evil like that, and everybody saw it, this is the crazy thing, is that you're very, like, my wife didn't see it and some friends didn't, but you're very lucky if you didn't see the video of him getting executed. But when you see that horrific evil, you have to ask yourself, well, there has to be something else. There has to be some good. And so I think, yes, it's driven people back to church. It's also just driven people to ask the amount of messages I got of people, hey, where do I buy a Bible? where should I go to church? I live here. Like, I don't know. It's like, you do your best to help, but I think it makes people ask questions. And similarly, in a way, that's, I guess what I'm trying to do with the videos is like, just to ask more questions. You know what I mean? Like we're so quick to have answers, and that's fine. We have to know where we sit and stand and what we believe in and for, but we've lost the art of asking questions. And that's why Charlie was so great, is because he hosted the floor for anybody to ask questions.
He really did, and he did it so brilliantly.
So well.
And I know we just touched on this a little earlier, but of course, when the news broke that he was assassinated, some of our media here in Australia and over in America just painted him as this far-right extremist for having conservative views and just advocating to have strong values.
Absolutely absurd. But I mean, it's to be expected, right? Like, to be expected, but absolutely absurd. I remember I had to turn off social media for a bit. Just because I couldn't see the clips.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get in the comments. It was just, anyway, yeah, it's absolutely absurd. Even now, you hear comments and you see things. You see people cheering on TikTok and celebrating his death. Anyway, it's absurd. Absolutely absurd. Anyway,
I feel the same as you.
Yeah.
It's really, I found that really difficult.
Yeah.
Even though, of course, as we mentioned, I didn't know him personally. I was so impacted.
Like I know.
And then to see people celebrating his death, it just felt like I was watching someone celebrate a family member who'd been killed in the most horrific way. It was so awful, and I feel like I see a lot of pretty extreme, disgusting stuff on social media. We cover it on our show.
Sure,
we see it in the news all the time, but this one I think was particularly hard.
Yeah.
But look, power of social media. Look what you're doing with what you're creating.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What's next? Are you going to keep doing this?
Yeah, I'll keep doing it for as long as people resonate. I think like the what would you call it? Like the conundrum or the counterbalance I have here is like, my goal is to actually get people off their phones.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, how about you get off your phone and run in the sprinkler with your kids, or like be present with your family? Like, so the goal is here to actually get people away from their phones. So it might be a win if people stop liking and sharing them, because they'll be off their phones more and be more present, But I think the reality is that's probably not going to happen. And I'm totally guilty of that, I actually have a lockbox at home that I have to like pin lock my phone. Yeah, on Sundays I do Sabbath and I just have to actually just really get away from my phone.
Charlie advocated for a lot.
I'm reading his book right now.
Oh, you are?
It's really good. You have to read it.
I will absolutely.
You have to read it. It's really good. Yeah. Anyway, he talks about that sacred day where I don't know how Christian your audience is, but having what God can do in one day, he can, you couldn't do in 7, and it's this idea of just like absolutely trusting that God's got it no matter what. And we all live busy, insane lives. But it does something deep in you, like this level of being present. It's like we've lost that art. I was talking to the Uber driver on the way here, and we were talking about just the lost art of having nothing to do, like just being bored. So like, when was the last time you were just bored?
Exactly.
Even on holiday, I'm like, this thing, that thing. I've got to be on the phone. I've got to FaceTime this person. I've got this business deal or whatever. Like, I can't remember the last time I was bored. But there's something in that makes us present to the moment, present to God, and it does something in us. And I think we've lost that. We're just quick to jump to a thread on Reddit or a thread on Facebook and share our opinion and blast people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, what's next? I'll continue to do the videos, and I hope that they continue to resonate, and we might advance them. And there's a few brand deals coming up and stuff like that, which is exciting because I think brands need to tell better stories. And so if we can do that through not just nostalgia, but just getting people to remember a simpler time, because those times weren't better, Gabriella. Like, they weren't necessarily better days. They were just simpler, and they allowed us to be more present.
And I think people were probably kind of one another. I don't know if I've watched too much of the noise on social media, but I feel like we definitely were not as divided back then.
We were way more tolerant.
As we are now. Yeah, that's
way
true.
More tolerant back then. I felt like, what do you think that is, though? What do you think changed?
Do I want to say social media has a part of it?
Yeah, I mean, well, social media, okay, so I talked about personal accountability before. That was part of just being a good human being in the 90s, just being accountable. If you got too drunk one night at the pub, you went around and said, sorry, I know you, whatever, name the thing.
Sure.
Now there's no level of personal responsibility. You can say whatever comment you want on social media and get away with it. That's the reality of it. And so you have all of these people, an entire generation of people who feel like they can say whatever they want and get away with it. And I think that has spilt over into real world connection. So they either isolate, I could go on forever about this, but they either isolate or they engage in really horrible arguments that don't make sense, you know? And so it's this echo chamber of, so anyway, my goal really, I would love to get people off their phones more and just do more of this, like have conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
I 100% agree with you. And I think looking at some of the people and how, look, everyone uses social media in different ways. You can use it for good and be inspired by people like yourself and like Charlie, and then spend time away from your phone.
Did you just put me in the same category as Charlie?
I absolutely did. I'm inspired by your videos, and I'm sure Charlie, he would love them.
I know.
If he ever came to
Australia.
We
had mutuals, and I was looking forward to the day to meet him.
I
anyway.
know. I was really hoping I could go on the show one day.
Yeah. Anyway.
We love Charlie.
Yeah.
But then there are other people that use it, and you can just see where you can use anything, I suppose, for good or evil, where they're in this echo chamber. And sorry, I'm just going to say it, this like left-wing echo chamber where it's getting more and more violent. I mean, there are people here in Australia that were celebrating Charlie's death that are advocating for the President of the United States to be killed.
Yes.
And I think that's where it's quite dangerous. With your videos really taking off, I suppose, after Bondi, that was, I think, an horrific time for Australia, seeing what happened. But I think that incident also woke up a lot of Australians about how we could lose this old Australia that we've taken for granted as always being so safe, you know, so accepting. It's not going to be like that if we don't have strong borders, if we don't control, you know, if we accept people here who want to burn the Australian flag, that want to be radicalised here. What's going to happen to our country?
What's happening to our country, to be honest. And like, this is why we're seeing someone like Pauline Hanson rise in the polls, which I think is incredible, to be honest, because she's just, look, she's crazy on edges, and that's why we love her. But she's also just very common sense.
Yeah.
The more you let in, the more you lose. It's like, it's very, she's just herself. We can't say the same for other politicians on both sides of the aisle, by the way, on both sides. And so I think somebody like her and others who are in Parliament, you know, none are coming to mind now, but I follow a bunch of them, and they're themselves. Yeah. And that's why, like, President Trump is I think you can trust him more than others, because even if you don't like what he says, at least he's saying it, and at least he's just being authentic.
He's also so funny.
He's hilarious. I mean, he's hilarious.
If you want some entertainment, just watch Trump.
He's so good. And so, I know, we're seeing what's happening in Iran right now, and that scares me a little bit about Australia. And the world is the retaliation and the people that we've let in. And so there's those things, but I think I would rather focus on rallying people about what makes Australia so great.
Yeah.
You know, because if we can rally around what makes us great and unify in that, I think we'll have a far better country, to be honest.
Yeah. And I think that's that's what I love seeing about your videos so much. And even when I'd see people I know liking them, I'm like, great, you feel that sense of connection and you feel that sense of pride.
Left because too, right? Yeah.
That's true. They're not going to celebrate Australia Day, but they will like your videos about what Australia used to be like.
On the way here, the Uber driver, I was telling him about the videos and he was having a look. He goes, oh, you did one on Colonial Day. I said, no, Australia Day. But he was like, oh, I love them, mate. These are great. This reminds me of da-da-da-da-da. So we were able to, like, obviously we don't see eye to eye on stuff, but there was a unified love for this country. Yeah. And that is what is important. Like, I love this country and I've been to others and I love America and I love the American audience. Love you guys. But Australia is one of the most incredible countries on the planet and we need to protect it. And the best way I know how to use my voice is to tell stories, and I'll keep doing it.
Please keep doing it. And so how do we follow you?
Yeah, so Instagram, Sammy Thompson, and AKTA Media if you want to follow our media account as well. I'm just sticking to Instagram for now. I don't have time to diversify, but if someone wants to look after my TikTok or something, please hit me up. But yeah, I'm just running it all myself on the side. I kind of just get inspired at night and do up the videos. So if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram. Please do. I highly recommend it. And then if you're watching from America, come out to Australia. I promise there's still a little bit of the old Australia that still exists, and some greatest Aussies as well. Yep. Sam Thompson, thank you so much for coming in. Great to speak with you. Thank you so much. And that is Power Hour Deep Dive. Thank you for your company. We'll see you next week. Make sure you subscribe to Sky News Australia on YouTube.